so that it's not just a job, so that their career is fulfilling, it's robust, it's where they want to be because they choose to be there. I think sometimes people forget how much power they have.
Wow, that is amazing. And guess who's with us now? Dr. Nhu. Hello, Dr. Nhu. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, and I was like, I gotta show up for Carrie.
That's right. Hi, Dr. Nhu.
I'm doing good. It, it's amazing how our small circle, right?
Yeah.
I love this conversation and to have bring humanity together and how we can leverage our skill set and what our unique, talented, and our experiences to help others. And we all have that gem, and Carrie has that one of those that will help immensely a lot of people. And so I love to have you here and share with the world, right?
Likewise. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I feel the same about you.
So then the question then becomes, Dr. Nhu, how you and Carrie got connected.
Well, we were not only we went to a mastermind with the Burnout to All Out with Dr. Melissa Hanault in Nashville, Tennessee. So we met each other live, in real life, in person. So we got to mingle, and then with also Dr. Maeva Clark. So we got a chance to get to know one another. And so that's where relationship built further than the Lincoln world and other endeavors that we have. But yeah, it's truly amazing. It's a blessing too. Everything's for me. I always feel that the universe always bring us the right people and the right time. When things come into play, it will come. So just believe in that, and I truly do see that. And that's how we met, Chris.
That's how we met.
Well,
we were learning business tools and tips and entrepreneurship. And then like 2 days later, we were sitting on the floor meditating together. It was beautiful experience. We were, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And I love Nashville because I've been there once when I was a kid and went to the Grand Ole Opry. It's a great town, love it. And of course, Graceland. Who can say no to Graceland? It's right there too as well.
I haven't done that. Yeah.
Yeah. Because Graceland's right there, and everything. And then you're not that far from not only the Tennessee River, but also you're not that far from the Mississippi. So you're basically at that southwest corner. So you're right there just about. But what I really love about Nashville is everybody's so down to earth, down home. You can literally say, "Hey, I need a trash bag next door," and if you're out of trash bags, hey, we'll give you a whole bundle. And then the next thing you know, not only will they give you a trash bag, hey, do you need some food? Do you need some Coke? Whatever. And they just start bringing it in and everything. And I love that because, like I said, when I was there as a kid and everything like that, and I even, in fact, kid you not, that is a true story. I went to go buy, I guess it was soda at one of the Grand Ole Opry. I won't say it's a store now, but it used to be. They had this little shop that you could actually buy your Coke and candy before the show and everything like that. My mom gave me money, but she was already in the auditorium, and for what I was going to get was costing more than what I had in my pocket. And the guy said, "Well, this is going to be this, and only had this much money." And I think it was like about $4 or $5 at the time, and everything like that. And what I had was actually less than that. And I was like, my mom only gave me $3. She's like, "Well, don't worry about it. It's only a couple of bucks. We'll take care of it for you."
Wow.
And you're in and everything like that. And see, but you know what that shows though, ladies? The capacity to have that compassion for people who don't have as much as probably what you do and everything. Because see, it's not about making the money every single time. It's creating that impact and experience like no other. Granted, They could have probably used an extra $2. Who's going to whine over that, though, when you really think about it? But when you get into that culture, especially from a community aspect, mind you, too, as well. And I got to ask you this, too, as well, Carrie, because this hits me right back home to when you were at Google. Now, let me ask you this from a community standpoint. Does Google embrace that unity and community kind of dynamic that it literally flows right back into the community of the people who work at Google?
Yeah, I would definitely say they're big proponents of like employee resource groups. So I don't know if you're familiar with ERGs, but some really big companies have them where they're like these subgroups within the company. So like, for example, there's ones for Latinas, there's ones for folks that like identify as maybe gay, or there's ones that are like people that are makers because they like to like, make robotics with, their hands and things like that. And then what they'll do is they'll take those things, the employee resource groups will do events with the community to support the local community, especially like in tech or in sciences or STEM programs. So I feel like there's a lot of like, you get a lot from it, but you also get to give back to the communities a lot with like maybe hosting kids or maybe doing tours with kids in schools, or maybe you do mentorship. I mean, like the mentorship working both ways, you getting mentored and you mentoring others is really big there too. So I think they're really big proponents of like giving back to community and whatever that looks like for that particular group.
And see, I truly believe we can really bring that to the forefront. And when you really think about it, Carrie and Dr. Nhu, maybe no better time in human history that probably gave us that capacity to do that. And I know a lot of people's going to say to me, Chris, don't say it, but you're going to probably say it anyways. I will say COVID probably did that for us, and here's why. Granted, we might have been locked up for close to 3 years in our houses, in our apartments, and all that kind of stuff, and that kind of thing. But I truly believe it's kind of slowed us down to a certain extent. That showed us what humanity can truly become and evolve and turn into in everything.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you do have that capacity for empathy and you do have that capacity for understanding, you do have that capacity to give and not to get back anything in return, maybe those are the things that people are really yearning and wanting, not only in their own life, but also at the same time what they're doing at work. And let me ask you this, Carrie, at Peak State Coaching, do you embrace that very same mindset as well?
Well, I want to make sure I'm answering your question. So what's like the root question here of mindset?
Do you embrace the mindset of just literally the very act of giving and the very act of receiving?
Oh yeah. Yep. I would definitely say when I work with clients, we'll talk about them and their journey. And then usually towards the end, and even in the beginning, I'll ask like, how are you giving back? Because I think especially when you're like thinking in that, scarcity mindset, you're not focused on abundance, you're not feeling super grateful, and we all get there. A really great thing to do is to give back to others, especially when you don't think you have a lot. And then even more so when you really kind of honed your skills, giving back to somebody else who maybe hasn't gotten there yet is huge. So I love that like a lot of my clients will say like, oh, I'm already starting to mentor like junior people that are in design or research or whatever, because it's really gratifying for them. And I love to see them flourish in that way where it's like, hey, you may think you've got some challenges, but other people have challenges too. And so sometimes when you give back a little bit, and build that community, or even just like, even if they just expand their network a little bit, it really is kind of eye-opening for them. It's fun to watch that just kind of cultivate.
Yes. So Dr. Nhu, let me ask you this too as well. Can we have that capacity to build that out, whether to be in business or not, to really give people a place and space that where they can really say, hey, it's not about them. It's really about me. Because, see, I truly believe, Dr. Nhu, and you already know this, and I'm sure Carrie's going to love this too as well. If we make it about them and not about us, and we put it on their timetable, not on ours, doesn't that change the game in and of itself?
Yeah, because people like I don't know if I'm stating the proper, but like John Maxwell will say that people don't care what you do until they know how much you care about them, right? The same concept of no matter what industry and what we're trying to do, if we have the love, the kindness, the empathy, but really compassionate to help others, and it goes to wanting to solve that problem, want to be that innovations to bridge that gap when you see something wrong with whatever that you or that burning desire that you want to just ignite that fire and saying, this is my purpose because now I see something that I need to help my people that I've gone through
Mhm.
it. Now you help others.
Mhm.
And that is where everything start, and it start with us. We cannot expect the changes if we don't be the change, right? When we say
Yes.
you want to look and complain, then how about put a mirror in front of us and say, let's put that reflection and see what we are showing up, how we showing up as a leader, how we showing up for one another as a parents to our kids, right? To
Mhm.
our
Mhm.
fellow, when we work, go show up in the workplace. If we vent and we really bitter about the world, we come home, that version of us going to carry home to our work. So we
Yeah.
cannot say our identity is just one dimension. It has to be all in one. It cannot
Mhm.
say leave your personal at home and just leave everything, and when you step into work, I think that conversation, and I know it's going to hit sensitive, but I think we need to embody everything, because our identity is not, okay, leave everything behind when you show up. We need to embrace all of that. And that is what makes us unique to the game, is bringing all that uniqueness and appreciate for all that we have. And then let's work on the strength. The weakness, we can make that into a strength. When you can't say no to someone, then we can have boundaries, right? Healthy
Yeah.
boundaries
Yep.
to put that there. There's a lot of ways that we can reframe it to make it work. And that is what I think totally, totally, I see that. That's a lot of changes that all of us are doing individually, but it's all bringing, having that conversations to bring humanity, right? And that's what, Carrie is doing through coaching in her world. That's what Chris is doing with bringing humanity together. And for all of those that are listening, adversity is not a burden. Look at it. Adversity is your strength. Adversity is your
Mhm.
superpower. That
Yeah.
you've gone through all that. Now you overcome. Now you can help other people. So if you can't help, then find something in a community that you can align, that you can
Mhm.
rally for, you can support. There's
Yep.
always there's a reason, and there's something that you can help. It's not just money,
Right.
and the
Yeah.
time is now. Don't ever wait until tomorrow. Tomorrow is never guaranteed. So
That's right.
always.
Man, Dr. New is just dropping the beautiful gems today. I love it.
She
And
always brings it,
Carrie,
Carrie.
I
She
don't
really does.
sugarcoat it. I'm always real
No,
as it is.
it's so true. People don't realize like a lot of like the disadvantages are your superpower, and it's so interesting. Like I had a real if you don't mind, I just share a reflection. Is just a few months ago, I was in like a seminar, and they talked about like what are your earliest childhood memories, and like think of a bad childhood memory, who was around you, like really immerse yourself in the moment. And they said, now I want you to think about it in three perspectives. There's your perspective, whoever else was in the room's perspective, and maybe your parents' perspective. And stopping to realize that the experience, like memories aren't necessarily real. You remember it however you remember it, but the person next to you may remember it completely differently.
Right.
And when you start to think about, oh, you blame your mom or dad for this and like all the hardships and maybe you didn't grow up great or like all these things, right? I feel like we do that when we're younger, like in our 20s. Like we always blame our parents for all this stuff, right? And then you start to like take some ownership and accountability. And then you realize from their perspective, where you're like, oh my gosh, like had I not had that experience or my perception of it, I wouldn't really be who I am today. Like even in that bad, remember I was the prompt was to remind you of kind of a bad memory. And it's
Right.
like that experience could have been bad for you, but maybe for them, they were teaching you something or pushing you to grow or something like that. Or even if they weren't, you still maybe grew from the experience because you just had to like fight, survive, thrive, move on, all those things. So I love that you said that, Dr. New, of like, you can leverage that as your superpower. Maybe it makes you stronger. Maybe it makes you more resilient. Maybe it makes you more creative in the way that you have to like problem solve your way out of something, right? So like, don't sit in that doubt. Don't sit in the like, woe is me, because guess what? Tomorrow is not guaranteed. You're absolutely right. And that's going back to what I said earlier, Chris, which is like, it's always a choice. It's going to be a choice on how you decide you want to take that scenario. It's like, you're going to go this way or you're going to go that way.
Yeah, and you can play the victim, you can play the victim mind, or you can say, I'm going to take the power back and what I'm going to do with it, right? Yeah. And so it's all about, it's not about the opportunity it's giving to you like in a silver platter. You create those opportunities, right? You create those because of how you show up. You're going to draw those people to your life, and those are the choices that you ultimately, it's in your hands, right? Like what Chris always say, if opportunity call, knock on your door, are you going to answer? Those kind of things. It's like, are you going to say, no, I don't want to talk to you? Or are you going to have that open mind and open heart to, let's have a conversation. Let's have a coffee chat. You don't know where it's going to lead us, but that is having that willingness to say yes to yourself. If you don't say yes to yourself, nobody can. I can open a door for you, but if you're not willing to walk it out, right, you will never take that action.
And think about it, ladies. It's about recognizing, not only saying yes and answering that call, but are you even willing to even show up to even walk through that door? Because if you're not even willing to show up to go walk through the door, then you're not even going to go to the door and everything. So it's about really recognizing that, because see, sometimes you can self-talk yourself out of things so badly, it's not even funny. Oh, I will put all these other things into play and kind of make an excuse for it, for me not to be able to even show up.
Yeah.
But for me, I did that many years ago when I was a kid. I did. I mean, I really didn't get to see what the real world can show to me and give to me, because I always felt that it was happening to me each and every single time and everything. And I believe that is the mindset shift that we should have, that says, you know what, we're going to let life happen for us and not to us.
That's right.
If we choose to do that. And that's why I just put it in there just a second ago. And I fully believe it, ladies, that, again, it is that choice that is the ultimate path to freedom. Because when we allow that choice in our life, we can choose to show up. We can choose to go a different path. We can choose to say, hey, I want to take this journey with you and everything like that, and make it about you and not about me, and put it on your timetable, not on mine. And when we do that, and had the power of what if even at our disposal. And I got to ask you this, Carrie, because it just strikes me yet again with like a ton of bricks in it of the thing. When you really think about it, do you allow these kind of 4 things to be in your life, whether to be coaching or otherwise? Do you allow intentionality to be there? Do you allow flow to be there? Do you allow agreement to also be in your life? Do you see those 4 things that are literally, I truly believe they're interconnected?
Yeah, for sure. I think those 4 things. Yes, for sure. Yep. Yeah. And here's the thing too. I like that you said, like, you can make your choice, because, what did you say? Excuses are kind of easy, but then, the work can be hard. And like, sometimes you have to choose your hard. Maybe just showing up is your hard, and that's okay. And as long as you show up, maybe the next day you do something else after you show up. So like, yeah, of course. And that's like the intentionality thing is like, so when I work with clients, we work a lot on like, what's your desired outcome? Because if you don't know what you're working towards, you're going to be kind of like just flying blind or just throwing darts and hoping to hit a target and hoping it sticks. So getting really clear and very intentional, very mindful in what your purpose is, or your end result that is you're looking for is really powerful. And then we can start to put all the other things together.
Yeah, because see, I truly believe in what we truly believe here at Bringing Humanity Together, Carrie, is that when we create that space and place with people, that we allow them to take that journey with us and us with them, that where they started, let's say, in alignment, and they are in alignment with so many different things with you, Carrie. It's not even funny. You run that to the high heels and make even better than what it was yesterday. But the great gift in and of itself, because of that, is when they take that journey with you from alignment into agreement. That can be there. It's not mutually exclusive to one or the other. Because see, when we put it in that kind of context of in the need of or in order to really not only work with people or do the things that we want to do, we got to put that as a precedent for them to even answer that call and open that door and everything like that. And see, I truly believe if we do it from that context and mindset shift, that when we allow that to occur for them, they can say, hey, Carrie, I'm in alignment with so many different things with you. It's not even funny, but I want to get with you to agreement. How can we do that? Well, we take it day by day, step by step, moment by moment, because we're not guaranteed tomorrow. But what we can do is in the now moment, really work upon that and accentuate that. Because when you really think about it, intentionality is a gift, flow is a gift, agreement is a gift, alignment is a gift, and when you pull all that together and it really becomes one great gift, not only can we give it, but we can receive it too as well.
Yeah, you bring up an interesting point because I haven't really thought a lot about the concept of agreement, but I would liken it to a concept I work a lot with, which is just taking action, because we can make all the plans and all the SMART goals, and you can read all the quotes and sayings, you can be on LinkedIn, you can do all the things. But once you decide and take action, and maybe that's the agreement piece, that is where it's a force multiplier. Because otherwise it's really laying on deaf ears. Because it's just intention. It's just intention. But if you don't do anything to like take action on it, I'm a firm believer that you never leave the scene of a decision without taking massive action, because you wouldn't even need me as a career coach if you already took action. You already know what you got to do. It's just maybe like the accountability piece. Maybe you need your tribe or your network to help elevate you and pull you up sometimes, and then you pull others up too when they need it. And then it's just taking action. That's where it's like doing the hard work, and maybe just showing up.
Exactly. And I truly believe, Carrie, in the space that you're in and in the space that we're in here at Bringing Humanity Together, I got to ask us too as well. Do you believe in collaboration over competition?
Oh, 100%. I don't like the competition. There's enough for all of us. Even if all three of us were career coaches and we all did the exact same thing, there are enough people, enough resources, or is enough success for all of us. Like I don't ever think of it as a competition. Like there's enough for all of us to live in abundance, to live in being fulfilled, and to empower, and to to have our flex. Like yeah, there's definitely, it's all about partnership and collaboration. And I feel like if you don't think of it that way, then that makes me sad, because there's definitely enough for all of us to be like, really successful and to be able to collaborate and lift each other up, because we don't all have our own unique talents and styles. Like we all each have something a little bit different that we can collaborate and partner on. And I think when you share like that, you're getting way more back in return, because that person's probably going to do the same thing for you, and they're like, hey, I can't really help this person, but maybe you can work with you because you have that thing that they need. Yeah.
So the question then becomes, though, ladies, why have we gotten to that point that we are in that mindset of competition, but not one of collaboration? Why have we gotten to that place?
I think a lot of it, I'll just go first and saying, I think it's a comparison factor. I wrote a post on this like a while back, but it's like, you're never going to win that conversation with yourself of like comparing. And a lot of this is like social media and just like digital influence, right? So like if you're on Instagram and TikTok, you're seeing a finely, perfectly curated version of somebody. And if that is a standard that you're always measuring yourself up against, you're just never going to win. There's always going to be somebody who's like richer, prettier, thinner, whatever, all the things.
Mm-hmm.
But once you start comparing yourself to you, that's way different, right? So I think that's where it gets to be competition versus collaboration or partnership, or even just helping each other elevate and raising each other up. That's my 2 cents. I think it's the comparison factor.
What say you, Dr. Nhu?
Yeah, the competition, I really think there's two that I think as we grow up, I think I would say that sometimes the school system and society also maybe some factor of competition within you know, our communities that we see, right? That it's like, oh, who is number one in the school, who is so and
Mhm.
so. So that has the nurturing of the competition, and oh,
Yeah.
I'm not going to share with you my secret how I success and succeed to the ladder, whatever. But in true reality, no one can succeed by themselves, right? And
Mhm.
you really truly need collaborations to go far, because you learn so much, and we all have a special uniqueness, like what Carrie said. We can all do the same thing, but not everybody's going to resonate with Carrie or Chris or
Yeah.
I, because everyone has a stories. Everyone will resonate differently, and that's how the beautiful. If we embrace everybody and bring it to the table as a team, that's going to be a powerhouse, because then you have a special sauce. Everyone is different, and even
Yeah.
if we give you the script, you're going to give the script, but it come out will be different. So that is
Mhm.
where I think people need to have that scarcity. When Carrie mentioned the abundance mindset, there's so much out there for all of us. And when the same concept that I think of is, would you rather have a small piece of a big pie, or a whole pie to yourself, but it's so tiny, right? That
Mhm.
barely that is, I think, when you talk about a collaboration, you can have a small piece of a big pie, and that's the abundance mindset, versus all
Mhm.
by yourself and lonely. And when you're building anything, a community is so important, because that it gets lonely, right? And so
Yeah.
having that support system is really important also.
Yeah. You don't have to be lonely at the top. That's for sure.
Yes, because if you're lonely at
Absolutely.
the top, you have to question, where are all your people, right?
Yeah.
Because when you go to the top, how about you lift others, and how
Yeah.
Chris have that picture, we
Yeah,
rise
I
by
was just
lifting
gonna say the
others.
picture's perfect image. Yes, exactly.
So that's how you rise. But if you rise by
Mhm.
your step by stepping on others, you will be lonely, because you got to put a reflection. What have you done? So that is where I say we got to get real and put down the mask, and let's have an honest conversation on how we are showing up, and let's get to work, right? And put some
Mhm.
action into it, and then that it will change, but it has to start with us.
Yeah. Yeah. Good
Yes, it
stuff.
does. It does start with us, Dr. New. That is well said. So it is about that time for our final thoughts and our call to action today. And of course, I'll start with you, Dr. New. What say you?
Um, I think when the worlds that we see now, so many things, whether it's war to violence to things in a workplace, or toxic, or that you want to make the changes in your work, career, or business, sometimes you have to do the work, the inner work, on what are you willing to do to get outside of your comfort zone. So sometimes it's be okay being get comfortable being the uncomfortable, to get you further outside, because until you go outside of the unknown, which is scary, but
Mhm.
that is true growth will happen. And sometimes people are outside saying, come, 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 but you have to be willing to have an open mind and an open
Mhm.
heart to also receive that. So, and abundance mindset, and everything start with mindset, but that is where I believe that we got to be the change that we want to see in the world, and it start with us. Let's
Yeah.
do small baby step, one baby step, and showing up differently, helping others, and that is how we're gonna win, and we're gonna have a fulfillment, joyful, and happy life.
Yeah.
Let's have some compassion.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Well said, Dr. New. Well said. So, Carrie, first and foremost, thank you so much
Oh,
for sharing your story with us. And I'm just so humbled and honored that I could call you my friend, and
oh, thank you.
that you can be a part of what we're building here and bringing humanity together. I can see great things happening in and of itself. I just had that thing in my brain. I just see it. I know it's there and everything
Yeah.
like that. But Carrie, I want to hear your final thoughts and what will be your call to action, and what would you like to leave with someone today that can be able to say, "Hey, if Carrie can do it, or Dr. New can do it, I can do it." And what would that be?
Yeah, that's good. Gosh, I mean, it's like trying to like, what's my pearl of wisdom? You know, and I'm really feeling like called to just talk about gratitude again. It's like, you know, we all have to choose our hard, but if you start each day or even end each day with just such a grateful heart, it's so easy to get sucked into that downward spiral of like, I don't have this or I have to do that. And you have multiple demands, you're wearing a lot of hats, maybe you're burning out. Um, I would just say take some time to pause and just think about what you're grateful for, what you're so grateful for today, what you're celebrating. Hey, I woke up today. I had a good night's sleep. I have a roof over my head. I have food in my refrigerator. And just start small. It doesn't have to be that you like cured COVID today. Like start small, coming with such a grateful heart. And then also too, just being so gracious for with yourself, and know that like, you know, when you choose your heart, you're not alone. We talked a lot about today about just pulling your tribe together, your network. There are people out there. And I would say just go boldly, and it's okay if you reach out to people. Even if you don't hear back, just keep going. Because I was reading the book called The Power of One More, and there's an analogy in there about when like little kids go up to hit a piñata. And so those first few kids, it's like, you know, wonk wonk. You're not going to get the candy the first couple times you strike it, maybe not even the fifth or sixth time, but you keep hitting at it, you keep hitting at it. Your candy, your treasure, it's in there. So just keep at it. So I would say persistence, being consistent, staying with, keeping your circle with people that are elevating you, that want the best for you, and you pay it back by doing the same for somebody else, and you will get so much out of that. So yeah, find your tribe, come with a grateful heart, and I'm telling you, it's at least some steps for growth and development, right?
I love it, and I love it. And again, Carrie, we're just so humbled and honored that
Oh,
you
thank
are here
you.
with us today and everything like that. And it all starts with Dr. New. If it
Yes.
wasn't for Dr. New, you probably wouldn't be here. So
Yeah.
it's all full
There you go.
circle.
See, Chris? There you go.
Yeah.
You see? I was gonna say, you see, I have a followers and people come. You see?
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Oh, those are like
No,
your
but
wings, and
I
you
love
know they
Carrie.
will come. Yeah, exactly, exactly. So again, Carrie, Dr. New, we're so humbled and honored that you are here with us today here on Conversations for Humanity. And if you would like to share your story on Conversations for Humanity, please, here's the link. We would love to have you on our show and everything like that. And if this really has touched your heart and touched your show, please don't not only reach out to me, but reach out to Carrie, reach out to Dr. New. We would love to hear from you. So, from all of us here at Bringing Humanity Together and Adaptive Strategy Group, you guys have a wonderful Wednesday. Make your day, and we'll see each other on Humanity Happy Hour tomorrow. I'll be posting it later on tonight, and we'll be looking forward to that for tomorrow at 3 o'clock on LinkedIn Audio. So, you guys have a wonderful Wednesday. Make your day, and we'll see each other tomorrow.
Thank you.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.